awaydaysbeer.com. Proud to partner with Talking Town. For only $14.99, grab your ITFC Legends Pack from The Beat to Hoppy Robson to Brazil's Best and Pablo's Pal. Whatever you need, whatever you want. ITFC Legends Pack, $14.99 at awaydaysbeer.com. Grab it today. Mass Creations are proud partners of Talking Town. High quality web and software development. From web development to SEO and everything in between, make your vision a reality with Mass Creations. Call 07896 904 571 or visit masscreations.co.uk or email info@masscreations.co.uk. Mass Creations, proud partners of Talking Town. Don't forget, tell them you came from Talking Town to get 10% off. Best Burger in Stone Market, proud partners of Talking Town. Call 01449 680 058 to book a table today. Welcome back, my friends. Sadly, nothing changed from half time. Finished England 0, Scotland 0. I'll bring back Cruncher. I'll bring back Matt. Have yours just a moment. Let me get a couple of words from our live chat. Get those comments in, guys and girls watching at home. Get as many as you can on the screen. If you want to come on the show, there'll be a live link in the chat right this moment. Click it. And who you are, where you're from, get yourself on the show. If you're Scottish, come on to gloat. I know you've just won your World Cup final. Josh Russell, load of shite. Clive Penning can't beat Scotland. Lol. Mike Brown. Football really isn't coming home under Southgate. Inept tactics, poor subs. Kane should be benched and take Foden off work. Sums up Southgate. But Foden, who's equally, apart from hitting the post, done nothing in 2 games. Let's be fair. Let's be fair with the criticism there.
He was our best attacker, Martin. He was our best attacking player today.
John, what do you mean? Stones was, mate. Outside of Stones, we didn't do fuck all. Like, what are you talking about? There's some glasses with Foden. Like, there is some serious. He can be a great player, no doubt, but yeah, come on, pump the brake a little bit. He's not done too much over the 2, and getting the Gaza hairstyle maybe a bit premature.
Play him in a proper position. Don't hide him out on the right hand side. Get him centrally. How did Sterling stay on for the whole fucking game?
Did he?
Well, you called it crunch on Kane, didn't you?
Kane doesn't look fit, Matt. He doesn't. Something that doesn't look right with him.
Yeah, fucking tactic. The tactic doesn't look right. You can't
way
play.
Off the baseline. Way off the. You see that one in the second half when he ran away from that player, and I think he got a foul, and he had no legs. We looked leggy the whole game.
Yeah,
we had no energy. Scotland.
Yeah, it did.
They should have beat us.
I thought that.
They should have fucking beat us.
I thought it looked like, you know, those like games you get at the end of the season, you go, oh, this is a game too many. Had that kind of vibe to it, didn't it?
Yeah.
That's what I thought. Yeah,
I didn't expect too much different to what I saw. A close game with Scotland playing 200% on emotion and Braveheart and for the country. Yeah. And let's go, guys. It was always going to be that. And those that think, oh, you know, Scotland are the minnows of this tournament.
I don't agree with Mike D there. That's the wrong mentality. England don't want to top the group. Why? Why don't we want to top the group?
Because of what awaits us.
Yeah. No, I don't think that goes through people.
Wrong mentality.
Yeah, I don't think that goes through people's eyes. We've got to give credit to Scotland.
Yeah.
I was kind of writing them off. They're 44th in the world. On paper, right? Games aren't played on paper. But on paper, we really should have beaten them 2-3-0. They done well. Fair play to them.
Yeah, it's not played on paper though, is it? And they're going to be playing up. They're going to be playing bigger themselves. It's like you said before the game, the FA Cup, Bolton versus Man City. Well, you get FA Cup giant killings because teams can play up for one game. They can't do it a consistent period. This was Scotland's World Cup final. You can't underestimate what they. I mean, TalkSport all week. I mean, bigging it up as Adam McCoy and Alan Brazil have been doing voiceovers all week about this and about that and Braveheart, and it's just been, come on, pump the brake. We're England. We're here hopefully for the whole tournament, if not a lot of it.
I'd be
we
interested.
Didn't lose. We didn't lose the game.
No, we didn't lose, but when you're playing 44,
tactically inept, Southgate, we won't win it with him in charge.
But did you not always feel Scotland were just a bit always at arm's length? Like we always had them at arm's length. They never really troubled us. They had a great chance in the first half.
Did we trouble them?
What we call in boxing a puncher's chance. They had a puncher's chance. They did have opportunities. They fell to. I mean, Adams eventually hit that one well wide, didn't he, in the second half? But I know what you mean.
Second game of group.
Let's see it here in the comments. Do people think England can win the Euros? I've never really thought we could. I'd be very interested to see how France, who I think could win the Euros, do in Hungary tomorrow against a team that's 37.
Against these teams, Matt. France, Belgium, they're a step up on us.
Let's see how France do when they go into Hungary, into Budapest tomorrow against a team that's 37th in the world. So not too much difference to Scotland. And I think you'll see a world of difference in performances. I'm pretty certain you will.
Bellissimo, dog water up front, too small to hold up and turn wide. Kane played with one in front and one behind. Hawks made Sheehan look Lewandowski.
Hawks loves a Lewandowski comment.
He does. Leanne, so we just need to chill every tournament history we we didn't lose. That's the most, not getting beat in tournament football is the most important thing. We didn't get beat.
And in 2 games against Croatia and Scotland, how many chances have we created?
But that's basically midfield 3. Your midfield 3 is your midfield 3 on paper that should look dreamy, but in reality it just does not work. It does not work. You are not getting bodies into the box.
Martin keeps, for everyone who doesn't know it, Martin keeps asking on WhatsApp, what is Mount here for? What's he doing? I mean, what is Mount? What does everyone in the comments think Mount's role is? I presume that he's central of that 3, can drop back a little bit to get the ball off Declan Rice and Phillips, and bring the 2 wide players in. Is how I would see that.
One shot on goal, didn't he?
Yeah.
I'll be fair. You could. It's 2 out of the 3. It's not just Mount. It could be Phillips and Mount. It could be Phillips and Rice. It could be, it could be any permutation of what you want. But just to play 3 in there, for me, it's too much. You're stifling, and Harry Kane hasn't had a lot. But
Mount should be the 10, shouldn't he? If they're playing 4-2-3-1,
then get closer.
Yeah. But you see what Grealish. I know Grealish didn't do a lot when he come on. Look at the times he gets fouled. You have to have him on that pitch. He has to start the next game.
That guy's calf muscles are unbelievable. What's he doing in the gym to keep those looking so pristine? It's unbelievable to me. Yeah, I mean, look, would Southgate go with 2 up top? Would Kane and Calvert-Lewin be better? Calvert-Lewin and Rashford? I know Rashford plays a little bit more of a wider role for Man U these days, isn't he? Is Rashford even that good? Is Rashford even that good, really? But
no, don't rate him. Overrated.
Yeah.
Should Calvert-Lewin on.
Well, I think that. Let's bring in the GOAT. Colin, what did you make of today? In the dressing gown.
In the dressing gown.
Yeah. Come on.
I was ready for bed at half time after watching that shit, Colin.
He's in his lounge jacket.
Yeah, right. I'll tell you what, Rich, Matt, Guv. I'm fucking gobsmacked. Absolutely gobsmacked, because I kept saying 3-0, and I really quite honestly did believe we'd get at least 2 or 3 goals tonight.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, they're a very, very average international side.
Yeah,
they're a lot better than they was about a couple of years ago, admittedly, and they obviously, to be fair to Clark, he got his tactics. spot on tonight. Absolutely spot on. You know, when I first looked at that side tonight, I thought, oh, that's a bit adventurous. That'll probably kick you in the arse. But no, not at all. Che Adams, in my opinion, a very, very average bottom half Premiership stroke, top half Championship striker. Thought he made Harry Kane look. He made Harry Kane actually look stupid tonight. I thought he played very well, Che Adams, and I also thought the lad from QPR done a good job as well.
I thought he kind of all right, Dykes. I thought he was helpful.
Oh, absolutely, and yeah, but England was so negative, Rich. So negative.
Yeah, but I said before, Colin, when we done a preview show a couple of weeks ago, I think on a Thursday night, I said it's going to be the manager that costs us. We're too cautious. I thought we were too passive tonight. You've got to go for that game. Last 25 minutes. He's only used 2 subs. He's got 5 subs that he can use. And he's only bought 2 on. And he's bought Rashford on in a position that he doesn't play. He plays wide.
I agreed, Rich. I mean, you've got a forward on that bench tonight who didn't even make the substitutes bench on Sunday, right? Who's being probably transferred in the next week or two for 85 million quid, for God's sake, and he can't get on the pitch. Yeah.
As Lee Dixon rightly said in the commentary, there comes a point in a game where you cross the line between wanting to win the game and knowing you've got 3 points already in the bank and not wanting to lose it. And Southgate forever, for me, coaches with fear. So the moment he crossed that line, he might as well just sat back down and sat on his hands and prayed, because he was even more fearful of doing something that changed the game in a negative reaction. It's almost like he doesn't believe in himself the same way we don't. He never coaches with fire and passion and the sense of, we're England, we're going to, I've got Grealish, I've got Foden, I've got Sancho, I've got Kane, I've got Rashford, I've got these players that you all wish you had, like Didier Deschamps does at France. I've got these players you wish you had. Your job is to stop them, because if you stop those 4, I'll bring 4 more on, and then you can try and stop those. He just always coaches not to lose, which is okay in tournaments, gets you so far, but there will come a point.
It was like, that's kind of how McCarthy was for Ipswich, wasn't it? That every point's a prisoner. Yeah. I always used to think of Ipswich that we would be set up not to lose the game rather than win it, which is of course 2 very different mindsets, isn't it, Colin? Do you know what I mean? But I mean, Steve.
Matt, what are we doing going into a game at home to Scotland, who are ranked 44th in the world? What are we doing going into a game at home with 2 defensive midfield players, for God's sake? I don't get that. I really don't. With the talent we've got in that squad, we go on with 2 defensive midfield players at home to Scotland. I'd agree 100% if he was playing bloody Belgium, but not Scotland.
Yeah.
No, I don't get it, Matt. Sorry.
I agree. And I think Steve Clarke's a really ordinary manager. I think he got that gig out of the fact he did all right at Kilmarnock. But if you look at his previous track records, he ain't a Jock Stein or a Craig Brown or Alex Ferguson, is he? So he's a very ordinary manager. But you could argue maybe Southgate's a very ordinary manager. I mean, he had great success with the 21s, which is why he got given this gig with England as a safe pair of hands after Allardyce. But, you know, his CV previous to that was getting Middlesbrough relegated. You know.
You wouldn't get a top job, Matt. You wouldn't get a top Premier League job.
Yeah, look at Spurs. Everyone's in the running for the Spurs job right now. Even the governor's in the running. You're probably in the running, Colin, for the Spurs job right now. I don't think Southgate would be. Do you know what I
mean? Maybe not. Great game.
To be fair to Rich, he's always said that about Southgate. To be fair, when we've spoken, he's always said that Southgate wouldn't get a top Premier League job. And to be honest with you, I'm inclined to agree with him. To be honest,
I am. I always think, Colin, that Wenger should have got the job. Whether or not he'd have taken it as a Frenchman, I don't know. But I always feel like he was so ingrained in the culture of England at Arsenal for so many years. I just feel like that attacking play would have suited us, but we'll never know.
Do you know what, Matt?
This is way over the top sometimes. Pump the brakes. It's group. It's the second game of the group. Fucking hellfire. I mean,
we'll be sitting here in a couple of weeks' time, and he'd have done the same thing about. We'll probably get to the quarterfinals, and we'll go out with a whimper like tonight. It was a whimper. We're playing at home against Scotland, Martin, and we were fucking second best. And I know it's their cup final, and you see the way they were celebrating at the end of the game, right? I get that. It's a great result for them. And look, it is. We've not lost the game. We've got 4 points. We're probably through already, but you've got to be a bit better than that. You know, we got the handbrake on.
But I'll tell you what, Rich, I'm going to throw one out there. I'm going to throw one out there, Guv, if I can.
Yeah.
I was staggered. I was absolutely staggered that Eddie Howe didn't take the Celtic job. I was really staggered. Now, I've got to thinking now, I'm absolutely wondering, because he's been out of work for a fair old while now. I'm wondering whether he's waiting for the England job.
No, he's managed Bournemouth, Colin. He can't manage Bournemouth to relegation and suddenly manage the national team. He ain't good enough. Sorry. No, not for me.
I do feel like probably in a few years' time, he'll be in that conversation maybe. But, I don't know.
I've got a funny feeling he might be in the running.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe.
He's a bit rich. He's a bit like Southgate in a way. You know, I think
He'll still be there, won't he? Southgate will do the next World Cup, won't he? In Qatar.
I would imagine so, yeah.
You'd have thought so because it's quite close together, right? Colin,
it's only a year
I'm going to bring in Lewis. Appreciate you, buddy. Lewis, what did you make of today's game?
Hi, chaps. What can I say? I would have taken a 0-0 before the game, and happy to accept. Keeps the dream alive. I mean, obviously we've got to beat Croatia now.
Your bar's very low, isn't it, Lewis?
Scotland, it won't happen, but yeah, it was. I enjoyed the night. I know that you guys didn't. I know that it's probably really frustrating. And look, let's be honest, Scotland rode their luck. First half, within a minute, Stones hit the post. Mount should have scored. Scotland created some decent chances, but yeah, it was the last 20 minutes was squeaky bum time. But from a Scotland perspective, absolutely take the 0-0. And look, England can play far better in every single game they play.
I didn't think we looked like scoring, Lewis. I didn't think we were going to score. Honestly,
you don't sound very Scottish, according to Paragon.
No. I'll be honest. I'm going back to my roots, and look, I've spent the last 23 years following England at tournaments because Scotland haven't qualified. So all I'm looking for is, with my Scottish roots within the family, is Scotland just to get out of the group. They've never done it before. So it's no slight on England. I will support England in the latter stages of the tournament when Scotland have packed their bags. But just for tonight, it is literally a case of doing what is needed to get Scotland out of that group alongside England. And like I say, a point possibly does it. Knowing Scotland, they'll blow it massively against Croatia. But at Hampden Park Tuesday, who knows? And look, like I say, from an England perspective, completely get the frustration. I think Southgate got the tactics wrong. I think that Grealish should have started. And England won't play worse than that in the tournament. I think they were on a hide into nothing. And yeah, like I say, take the 0-0 and we'll see what happens in the final game. Whereas for England, they can start planning for the knockout stages.
Okay, all right, boys. Thoughts on Lewis there and his kill?
I mean, you know, I give full credit to Scotland. They done well. I mean, it's no easy task, is it, to go and get a point at Wembley against England with the world watching? But I mean, yeah, fair play to them. But yeah, I agree with Rich. England did not look like scoring tonight for whatever reason. They weren't at the races. Whether or not be the tactics, was Kane not fit? I mean, we don't know.
I think both. I thought
you got more energy than us, Lewis. I thought you all over the park. Yeah. We just never got going, did we? I know if I know what Martin says, if his nan had wheels, you know, the header from Stones, if that goes in, it does change the game. But other than that, we never opened Scotland up the whole game, did we? We never really got in behind you. It's like I said, Sterling, I don't know how he stayed on the pitch for 90 minutes. I really don't. I thought he was poor tonight. I'd have took him off. Sancho, he'd have gone off.
Sancho, yeah.
I wouldn't play Kane on Tuesday, Matt. I would not. Southgate will play him because Kane's the golden boy. But Kane hasn't showed up in 2 games. You cannot keep picking people on reputation.
Well, the fact that 3 qualify, if you're in that top 4, in the top 3 of the groups, if you're one of the 4th best sides, he might just play Calvert-Lewin. I don't know, but yeah, I agree. He certainly was not at the races. I'm struggling to think how many teams win tournaments. They're drawing with like teams that are almost 50th in the world, but there you go.
Yeah,
like I say,
about any tournament, it's the teams that win it generally tend to get stronger as the tournament progresses.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think a good barometer, Lewis, is as I said earlier, is in Budapest tomorrow when France go to the 37th best side in the FIFA rankings. Let's see. I'd be chalk and cheese those performances, I would imagine.
Well,
you look yesterday.
Will they be playing on emotion? Will they be playing as the team that's just crossed over a border with hundreds of years of history and the whole country expecting...
Talking of emotion, Martin, you look at...
There'll be 60,000 there tomorrow in Budapest.
Look at Belgium yesterday. You're talking about emotion. Look at Belgium. Stumped the place out first half against Denmark. Lucky to be one... But they had the subs on the bench to come on, and they changed the game. They didn't play well, and they won that game 2-1. We didn't play well tonight, and we didn't win the game. That's the difference between Belgium, a real top team, and us.
And by the way, how has Belgium got better than us? They got nothing domestically.
Got good question from an England perspective.
But then pre-game crunch, you were a bit arrogant. Let's be honest. You were expecting...
Not just me. Look at social media. We're all going to smash them 2-3-0.
No, you're missing. No, my point isn't that you were arrogant. No, you're right. The whole country was. But then when a whole country is bordering another country and they are spoken to in that way about every time they play each other, you're going to have a lot more at stake than just a FIFA world ranking here. It's going to be, this is our chance to step up.
It goes back to mindset again. Sometimes I think some of our players are too young. Like, I mean, is what Kane the oldest in the side? I sometimes think some of our players are too young. Where's the experience?
Bring in Curtis from Corfu, hanging out.
He's in the start.
Not bad, lads. Not bad. It's not. I've got the after sun here next to me, so that'll be going on before I go to sleep.
Got better Wi-Fi in that hotel, mate.
Yeah, I know.
How's the weather? It's been raining here. How's the weather?
No, it's been great. It's been just under 30 all week, so it's I'm loving it at the moment. I'll come back on Sunday. Got to have me test to come back tomorrow, so that'll be fun. Getting that shoved up my nose. Yeah, it's not been a bad 10 days so far.
With the missus?
Yeah. So I'm looking for, it's 2 single beds, so I get the bed to myself, to be honest. So I'm all right.
Nice. And you took some time out of your holiday to watch England.
I did.
How did that go for you?
It's shite. It was utter shite. I mean, I'm not being funny, but I mean, Southgate took off Foden there, and yet he left on Sterling, who every time the man got the ball, he ran into his first fan challenging him, and I don't understand. I mean, I had to give myself 5 minutes when I got back there, because I was reading through some of the tweets that Colin put on, and jeez, he's on about bringing Rashford on instead in place of Mount, and I'm thinking, what the fuck has Rashford showed you that means he starts next game?
That's what I said.
He wrote a few books, Curtis, and fed a few kids.
I understand. To be honest, I wouldn't have played him down the middle anyway. But I mean, if we're talking about players that you need to take off instead of others, I mean, Sterling has to be top of your list. He played shit in the first game, and the performance was masked by a messy goal a messy goal, and he's played shit today without that messy goal. So therefore, he has no reason to be in that side. I mean, I don't know. I mean, we should. Well, I say we should fairly easily beat. Was it Romania that we got or whatever? Yeah,
Czech Republic.
That's the one.
Do you guys actually want to beat Czech Republic? Because as it stands, we're second, or England is second.
Of course we do.
And
you want to win every game.
Take whatever you get, or as people have been saying, if you finish second, you avoid a group. I can't remember what group it is. Group F with.
It's the Portugal, Germany group, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, so a few people have said again, similar to the last World Cup, finish second, you potentially get an easier path, which I personally don't agree with. I kind of think take them on and give it a go. Portugal at Wembley, then so be it. But as it stands, England are second. So
in my opinion, it doesn't matter what path we take. I mean, if we're going to get tanked by France, we're going to get tanked by France, whether it be in the final or whether it be a few games before. I'd much rather the tournament ended prior than giving me false hope of getting to the final and then bang, we get absolutely walloped. Then it doesn't matter to me. You want to win every single game, but playing with that shite squad out tonight, and to be fair, and the same one in the first game, we ain't gonna go anywhere. I mean, I saw Callie there saying how like people saying it's coming home, need to give their heads a wobble. I think most people realise that it is a very ironic thing to say. When England fans say that, I don't think anyone genuinely believes it every time a tournament comes around that it's going to come on. We hope it does, but I don't think we actually believe it. So people need to realise that it's just a ironic saying that we always say every tournament. No one genuinely believes that we've got a chance against the likes of France, because this team doesn't. Our quality is lacking, and I heard what Cruncher said at half time. Kane is unfit. He's unfit. He's unfit to lead the line.
Don't look on it, does he, Kurt? He don't look on it.
I want if I've got a captain there, I want him chasing down loose balls. I want him pressing. I mean, I know that's not Kane's game, but that's what I want. I want a player who's pressing constantly. I don't want anyone to give it a minute's rest. And Kane, for 2 games now, I mean, we may as well have been playing with 10 men because we've not been playing with a striker.
I can't believe he didn't put Calvert-Lewin on. I can't believe he went with Rashford. Rashford may be out wide, but Calvert-Lewin through the middle to press. Because actually, McTominay played in the back three, and he looked a bit shaky first half. He gave it away for one of the chances. But second half, there wasn't enough pressure on Scotland back three. And yeah,
Grant Hanley looked like Cannavaro, didn't we?
I'm just going to, Lewis, appreciate you coming in. I'm just going to bring in Callie, because Callie's just come on, and obviously Calvert-Lewin came on, didn't come on rather. Rashford did, and Rashford is Callie's go-to guy for the next game. Callie, talk to us. What's going on?
First of all, I thought Chambers played shit.
Yeah,
I thought he gave the ball away too bad.
And Drennan, let's tell me about Drennan.
Oh, Drennan, how many one-on-ones does he need to fucking miss? Edwards was poor out wide, and Norwood coming off with an injury in the end. Fucking hell. It was like watching Ipswich though, wasn't it? Like it was watching Ipswich.
Frustrating.
This whole season. It was bullshit. In terms of Rashford, I was surprised he went as a striker. Left wing, right wing, fine. Mason Mount, I don't know why he's in the fucking England team. I don't know what he's done to justify him being a starter. He's a fucking kid that was playing at Derby 2 years ago, with all due respect.
He did win Player of the Year at Chelsea, Callie, and he won the Champions League, so he's had a decent season, hasn't he?
No, his team won the Champions League. Fucking Billy Gilmore won the Champions League as well. He was on the pitch today and played bollocks as well. Don't give me that shit about, these are participation trophies, right? Mason Mount, I'm not, there was a player in there, but starting in a tournament of people like Jack Grealish, above Sancho, above even Rashford, right? Where is the logic? I don't get it, right?
Maybe it's too much for him. Maybe.
We look like, whether Southgate's been chatting to Paul Lambert or whatever it may be, he's playing that kind of same shit tactics. Harry Kane, I don't know if Harry Kane's still isolating on COVID stuff and he's staying up top by himself, or maybe he's carrying an injury. I don't know, but this ain't the same Harry Kane I've seen in it. But this ain't the same Harry Kane we've seen. I just don't get it, because Harry Kane is that player that, come on, go and get a goal, go and drag the team with you. He was playing next to Calvin Phillips half of the game. He dropped so deep, and I'm just thinking, where is, we talk about we've got this great bench, we've got this great squad. It doesn't matter. You don't need to take 20 players to the tournament, just take 15, because we don't make the substitutions, we don't make them in time. Was it 65th minute, 70th minute when Jack Grealish come on? You want him to influence the game for 20 minutes?
Oh, yeah.
You talk someone who's the most fouled player in the Premier League 2 seasons in a row, right? That's the stats there. I think we all heard that anyway. Someone that's going to get you up the pitch, get you a couple of free kicks. We've got some people that... Well, there you go. Exactly. Right. Well done, Matt. But that's the point. And it's like...
Great point, Matt. Love it.
It just comes back to these players. Like there isn't... Who's a world-class player there for us? And that's what Yatesy was saying there about me putting that thing on Twitter about, saying it's coming home. I know there's some people that say
Well, it's not
like,
Marcus
half-hearted.
Rashford, is it? You say
Well,
about world class there.
I think he's better than Mason Mount. I think he's way better than Mason Mount.
Different player. He's a different player, Cal. He plays in a different position.
That's like comparing Ken Lock to Drill.
Jordan, you say the front three are interchangeable. So, sorry, the three behind Kane are interchangeable. Left mid, right mid, centre attacking, right? Yeah. So Rashford's meant to play along the line anywhere there. Mason Mount's meant to play along the line anywhere there. I would pick Rashford any day of the week over Mason Mount, right? Well, I know he's not had a great season, right? But he's still a player. He's still a player that's done it in big pressure moments as well. Mason Mount hasn't done enough for me to say, okay, yeah, this was a big game for us, because forget about form guide and everything. This is a rivalry. This big fucking thing. We've got to stick it to them. Scotland come away looking fantastic. Matt alluded to it earlier. We are the 4th ranked team on FIFA's thing. Scotland are 48th ranked, and we're meant to be one of the tournament's favourites. Like, who makes this up? Is this Gareth Southgate deciding the odds here? He just looks clueless, and that's the frustrating thing, because we're looking at some of these players. Like Reece James played outstanding for Chelsea this year, right? You look through our squad. Harry Kane assists and goal tallies this year, and none of them can buy they ain't got a clue. They just look completely clueless there. Calvin Phillips had a good first game. This game, not so much. Was that because McGinn was just in his face too much or whatever? I don't know. But it just didn't look like an England team that you're thinking, you know what, we need to, we can actually qualify, we can actually go far. If we get out of this, if we win our group or finish second, we've got a choice between Germany, Portugal, and France.
Yeah, I think so.
We've seen even Hungary. At today's performance,
still there?
At today's performance, we would struggle against Hungary.
Yeah, I mean, you're right, Callie. And the fact is that Kane has to score goals in order for England to progress, because you can't see where the goals anyone else is going to score goals, can you?
Curtis, get back to that Raki, my friend. I'm going to bring Lee in. Get back to the all-inclusive bar. Get down there. Get down there. Lee, where are the goals coming from? He's on the
floor again.
On the floor again.
I'm on the floor again.
Are you not allowed on that sofa, Lee? What's going on?
Even my dog's allowed on the sofa, Lee. Come on, son.
He spent $4,000 on a sofa and sit on the floor. Great, isn't it? Yeah. That's how it goes. That's what you get for having a bad back. Kane. I mean, don't know. We're missing a striker, and I think someone said earlier about we look a bit like Ipswich. No, comparing to our season, and we haven't got that. I don't think we've got that focal point. We've got the ball's not going into him, and we're not playing off Kane, are we? And we're relying on the balls from the fullback for Sterling to run onto. So we're playing that long ball over the top into that channel, and I think that's just not working. So I think Kane is the worry for me. And to be fair, I've never rated him anyway, totally, because he cost us a place in the World Cup final when he should have squared to Sterling. And didn't.
You say that the other day, and Martin pulled me up on that, Lee.
But in that Croatia game,
he should have squared that to Sterling. That would be 2-0. That'd have been game set.
Forget about the back line for their second Croatia goal.
When he hit the post. Is that when he hit the post about 2 yards away?
Did he hit the post or did it go wide or something?
I know you mean.
He should have just squared it to Sterling. We were well on top.
Easy said and done, Lee, at the moment, right?
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, absolutely.
What is it? Gary Lineker yesterday said something. He said, in that situation, if you shoot, you've got one thing going wrong. That's the goalie saving it. If you pass it, you double your chances of something going wrong, because if you pass it and the pass is bad, that's the first thing that can go wrong. If you pass it and the player skies it, that's the second thing that can go wrong. So if you shoot yourself, only one thing can go wrong. So
that one thing cost us the final. Cost us going to a final.
Well, to be fair, 2-on-1 with a goalkeeper, and you're going to square it into open space.
Oh, I've seen players sky it from under the bar. Jason Dazelle skied it from under the bar.
But I think for going back to Kane, I think it's a worry. And Mike, to be fair, hit it on the first game, didn't he? Mike, our Fishman said about that, and I think with Kane, don't know. Do we need a change next game? Has he got the balls? Has he got the balls?
Is he struggling? Has he got a knock or an injury or something? Because
not said anything.
I was surprised to see him come off. If you're talking about a captain and your out-and-out striker, maybe if you were going to do something, you'd bring on like I said, Rashford would have come on the wing, or it still seemed a bit bizarre to swap Rashford to play him as a central striker when he doesn't play it for his club. The only choice there would have been DCL, right? Bring on Calvin Lewis, but that didn't happen. So
I just think.
But by that point, was Southgate looking just to not lose the game? So Rashford's bite up front, his work rate, his energy. It wasn't about what Calvert-Lewin or Rashford could do in the box. It was more about who was going to chase the ball in the channels, Harris, fight, bite. And that's more Rashford than Calvert-Lewin by that point.
Cautious, wasn't it?
So he's conceded he's conceded the result almost already. Then by that
well,
point,
he's not conceded the result. But what he's saying is not tournament football, is it yet? It's not knockout football. So he's thinking 4 points after 2 games. Let's not get beat. I mean, if we were in a tournament game, maybe like Mount would be replaced, and and you're talking about different types of substitutions. I think, he's not conceded it, but he's just thinking, let's just see how it pans out. He's been a bit cautious, hasn't he? Without being overzealous to try to go forward.
That's what he is, Lee. That's what he is. Yeah. He's a cautious manager, and that's why he won't. That's why he won't win the tournament. He ain't good enough.
Yeah, I'm with you there, Rich. I'm with you there, Rich.
No, I agree with that.
Time will tell on that.
I just don't get it, because Harry Kane, either he's carrying a knock or something's happened, because Harry Kane...
Tactically, we're poor.
He didn't look right.
It's like that old, is it the Bible story? He needs his Abel. He's got Kane and Abel at Tottenham. He's got Son. He needs his Abel now. Who the hell's that going to be? Otherwise, he's going to wander around the earth or the pitch for the end of days until he eventually dies. And that's what's happening to Harry Kane at the moment.
But when you look at the England setup at the moment, Matt, is it too structured? You've got players of ability like Grealish, like Foden. Why are we saying you're left wing, you're right wing, you're this, you're that, like it's over the park football? Get these boys on the football pitch in an England shirt and get them playing free. Just get them playing.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the reasons why Southgate got the job in the first place, because he did such a good job with the 21s and they played with that kind of freedom. So the FA turned to him on the back of Allardyce going a bit pear-shaped. That's the reason why he got the job. That kind of safe pair of hands. And he's worked with these players before and had some good success in at that level. But for whatever reason, he just seemed hamstrung tonight. Whether or not Kane is injured, I don't know. But it just seems...
Let me come to that point with Rich. Is it because it's now the national team? All due respect, no one really pays any attention to the under 21s. Like, we know that they're doing something, but you're not really, unless you're a diehard football fan, as keyed in as this. This is the main stage. You are the main act. Is it now the fact that he is the main act and he has got the world watching and the eyes of the nation watching and the whole country? You can feel that maybe that's why he's not being as progressive as he was with when they were younger, because he's now worried about simply not losing tonight to Scotland, not getting beat to Croatia, taking it to penalties in a knockout, because penalties you've got 5 opportunities to win the game as opposed to you go home if you lose 1-0 in normal time. Is that possibly it? Because something's not right tactically.
Look, I do agree with you. We haven't lost tonight. We can't. Let's not get too carried away. We've got 4 points. We're going to go through. But I think Tuesday night when we play the Czechs, we really need to have a performance on the front foot and have a convincing win, because you know what everyone's like. You know what the press are like. Probably tomorrow he's going to get some criticism, Southgate. Tonight, if we'd have played a better team, we'd have lost that game. Defensively, still a little bit. Maguire plays for me the next game. Mings, I like Tyrone Mings, but
I thought it was immense.
No,
the defense ain't the problem, Rich. The defense ain't the problem. I wouldn't go messing with the defense. Like, if it ain't broke,
because he changed the fullbacks, Callie.
Mings has got Mings has got an error in him. Mings looks good because he's like a couple of headers. He's like throwing himself in there because he's
too last ditch, Lee, for me. Bit too last ditch.
He's a bit like Seaman. If you go back to David Seaman, right, he never made spectacular saves because he was always in the right place. With Mings, you always think he's just catching up, and he's just that half a second behind us. Where when you've got a real cultured centre back, he's just always in the right place and always seems to be in control. But you know, Mings is strong, but there's something in him. We've watched him at Ipswich. There's something in him.
Oh, come on, Lee, that's not fair. You can't compare Mings at Ipswich to Mings now. Mings at Ipswich was starting his career.
I'll tell you what, he's still standing on people's heads.
£10,000 signing.
Yeah.
All right.
Still stand on people's heads, isn't he?
Let me just bring Josh in. Josh, go on, Crunch.
If Maguire doesn't play Tuesday night, he's not going to be playing in a knockout game, is he?
But it's not the defence which is the problem, though. It ain't.
It will be. That'll be our undoing in the end. Defensively, when we play a better team,
just look at the difference, though. You've got Harry Kane up front, £100 million striker, Premier League Golden Boot winner, whatever. For Scotland, they've got QPR striker up front. Right,
wow.
There's your difference. Yeah, and it's Southampton, who's hardly been setting the Premier League.
As Ali McCoy said, it'll do for me. It'll do for me.
That's just mentality. That's just mentality.
Sorry, don't do the Scottish accent again. Yeah, we bastard. All right, don't do that again.
Just to let you know, Nicola Sturgeon's been tweeting about Scotland. We leave Wembley undefeated. Get in the bin. Get in the bin.
You're going home next week.
You're still not getting it. She's still not getting a referendum, so she can fuck off with that one. Sorry, Josh. How you doing, mate? Sorry, I was talking.
Hi,
Yeah, welcome in, Josh. What did you make of tonight's game?
Shite. We were slow football. There was no quick movement. Like, we didn't have urgency to go forward at all. I disagree.
You said that before on this show about a different game. Maybe an Ipswich game. You've said that before.
Yeah, I have said that multiple times.
The issue's the final third, isn't it? I don't think the issue's in defence particularly. We've got a good goalkeeper. I think Ming's done all right tonight. We had good fullbacks. The issue's the final third. We're not playing enough chances, which is why it's ended 0-0. What's that? The fourth 0-0 in the history of the Scotland games?
First one at Wembley.
First one at Wembley. Have we got the stats? Because at half time, I think we had one shot on target, which I can't even remember.
I can grab them. What is interesting, and maybe a note to remember, is the Scotland can't seem to take their chances. They would have battered the Czech Republic under a different day. They had countless chances.
One on target. You're right, Kelly. Yeah.
There you go.
60% possession we had. Scotland actually had
chances.
Yeah, a lot of half, no puff. I mean, I have seen Jordan play better than Kane did tonight. I will be honest.
No.
Can you clip that?
I will be honest.
Steady.
Clip it up.
I'm not sure if that's the beer talking or otherwise, but or if that's how shite Harry Kane was. But tactically, I just feel we're too rigid in the system, and I want to see players like Foden, like Grealish, just allowed to go out and play and just express themselves.
He'll only play one of them, Martin. He'll only play one of Foden or Grealish. That's his problem. He should play both of them.
But yeah,
I'd like to see Bellingham. I'd like to see Bellingham start next game as well. I thought he had people wait.
So where's Bellingham slotted in one of those holding positions?
Yeah, I'd either Rice drops or Phillips. Probably likely to be Phillips to drop. But I can't see Declan Rice being dropped. Yeah, I mean Phillips had a great first game, but then just on this performance, Southgate can justifiably drop him. Right, he could drop anyone to be fair. But as much as I'm a fan of Phillips and I thought he did great in the first game, I don't think he wasn't at the same standard he was on the first game.
Right. We need more energy.
Yeah. And Bellingham gives you that. I think Jude Bellingham gives you that as well. It is, Rich, if that's true what we're saying, then that Foden and Grealish ain't going to play together. That just seems dumb.
They should. I think they should.
No, I know what you're saying.
He took Foden off. I don't know why he took him off.
And it comes back to what Martin was saying, that kind of free behind the striker. Look at the talent you've got. They should be so fluid and interchangeable. That causes defenses problems. If you don't know who you're defending against, right? Am I picking up this man? No, shit, he's on the other wing now. I'm picking up this man. You got Grealish interchanging with Rashford or Foden or whoever and vice versa. That's what's going to be exciting. But at the moment, like Martin said, it's like Football Manager. You're staying in your little square boxes and don't move over anywhere else.
Yeah.
Stay your square area. That's fucking frustrating.
And have we made football like that? Like, I'm just thinking back to Euro 96, and Terry Venables is obviously Gareth Southgate's mentor, someone Southgate looks up to. You look at that England team, you had one enforcer, Paul Ince. You then surrounded him with Anderson, McManaman, Gascoigne, Sheringham, Shearer. You didn't play with 2 or 3 holding midfielders. Have we made modern football too
That's how it is, though.
complicated?
It's the sexy thing to do now, isn't it? You got to have 2 holders in the team.
And there's more experience in that team as well. Still a young team, this England team.
But it's the same with these graphs. Have we made modern football just too complicated? Like, you don't need 3 holding midfield players, which is what Mount was tonight. You don't need it.
No, it's a fine balance, isn't it, between the 2 holders and 1 in front, or 1 behind, and then like Grealish, play Grealish and Mount, and then forsake Rice or the other holder midfielder. And that's the thing for me. I think that's braver, isn't it? And that's just that. It's those little subtle differences that can make a difference. Because all of a sudden, if you put Grealish in and play a diamond, as in 1 holder and 2 in front behind Kane, then that's where you would have Grealish. So Grealish then comes into the team, doesn't he? And then, but I think we're still too defensive because we've got 2 holding midfielders. Is that because we don't trust the back 4? Is that because Maguire's not playing? If Maguire's fit and he's playing all the time, do we only have 1 holding midfielder?
Would you play Maguire? Would you play Maguire if he's fit Tuesday night?
I think so. You've got to pick your best players. And if he's fit, and when you mean fit, is he ready to start? You've got to pick your best 11.
He's played 0 football. He's played 0 football.
Yeah,
he's played 0 football, and you're going to put him on there. So risk, man.
But we've all played. I mean, it's a different level and everything. But when you see people come back and you played in a team, and you've got someone like Maguire, if he is like the best player, if he comes back, that gives the confidence to everybody else. And
I don't even think Maguire's our best defender as an England defender. I think I don't think I think Stones is ahead of him, right? Maguire, okay, he's done all right. He's got a slab head, right, and he can head to the ball, and that's it, right? He's not an amazing centre back,
isn't he? He's better than Mings.
Do you know what? On what I've seen of Mings, I have to disagree. I've not seen anything like Maguire, apart from an £80 million price tag and the fact he plays for Chichester United, right? I ain't seen nothing there that says, oh, he's a world-class defender. John Stones, yeah, I'll take my hat. Well, I'm not going to take my hat off because I need a trim. But he's done.
Take your hat off,
John Stones done well. Yeah, he's a good defender. I rate him. Even Connor Cody comes through, right? He's all right. Maguire, you know how you talk about Mings in a mistake.
That's your black country there, Callie, coming in. Mings
Well,
it's funny because you go back to the World Cup and we played 3 centre backs because he wanted to play Maguire, but he never trusted him, did he? I think that came out, didn't it? That we played the 3 at the back, the 3 centre backs, because he wanted to get Maguire in, but he wasn't really sure if he was at that standard. And I just wonder if sometimes with Southgate, if he's still toying with that 3-5-2 or the 3, or the 4-3 or 4-2-3-1, whatever it is, because he was successful with England when he played in Euro '96 with 3 centre backs. I still think he's torn between what he wants to do with that, and I think that's why he's picked those extra fullbacks.
You should know your best team now, Lee. You should know your best team before a tournament.
Well, he should. Well, you should do, but sometimes you change tactically, don't you?
Yeah, but a 3-5-2 then and a 3-5-2 now is slightly different in terms of what I mean is because your central midfielders, before you had more central midfielders focusing as that kind of number 8. Nowadays, a lot of these central midfielders are focused as a number 6, deep line playmakers sitting in front of the defence. There isn't that, we said it like Euro '96, that Paul Ince kind of number 8 mould, right? Or a Roy Keane or a Patrick Vieira. Yeah, enforcer, box to box, however we want to call it. We don't.
No, Ince wasn't box to box. Ince was kick you.
Enforcer.
Kick you.
Yeah, and that's the modern game, though. That's the modern game, though, isn't it?
Ince had 3 centre backs behind him. So you could only play 1 holder. So you either play 3 centre backs, 1 holder, or you play 2 centre backs and 2 holder midfielders. That seems to be the way that Southgate is going. But I think when you want to win a game, then one of those 2 holders has got to come off the pitch. And again tonight, I think he just played it cautious. Let's not get beat. Let's have 4 points.
Would he do that in a knockout game, Lee? When it's 0-0, would he go for it and take one of them holders off to put another tackle? I don't think he would.
No,
I don't think
but
he
you've got
would.
to, because you've got to be brave, haven't you? You've got to be brave.
He's
I don't
not.
think he's
I
brave.
swear I don't think he is.
You know?
He needs to
think
go
you've
get
got to
that.
be
He needs to
brave.
go get that diesel aftershave, only the brave or something, right?
Yeah,
You've got to be
no,
brave.
I wear
You
that.
aren't
It's
gonna
great
win.
stuff.
You
He
aren't going to
needs
win.
it.
You know, to win, you can't. It's a bit like tennis, isn't it? It's a bit like you can't. You know, when you're playing tennis, you can't think that the person at the other end is going to make a mistake. You've got to go force that play. And when you used to watch Andy Murray play tennis, so I'm going off piece here a bit, but he used to be defensive, didn't he? And then
He's
when he actually
Scottish,
won a
don't talk
Grand
about him
Slam,
Yeah. What
he
are
actually
you
went on
talking
the
about?
front
A
foot.
Scottish tennis player?
What are we
Talking
talking
about
about?
a Scottish tennis player. What are you doing?
Yeah. But
Two
you've got to play on
things.
but you've got to play on the front foot. You've got to be brave, and you've got to say, right, you've got to trust.
He
your
won't,
back
though,
four.
Lee. You're
But if he
already
won't,
in
then we'll get
knockout
beat.
football. The moment you beat Croatia, you were already in knockout football. As they said on the commentary tonight, there comes a point when you don't want to lose the game. And it's the same in a one-legged knockout. There comes a point when you're happy to go to extra time, and then you're happy in that extra time period to go to penalties. And Southgate is never the manager to say, I will fall on my sword. And if it turns around and the press say, why did you take Foden off when he was doing this, that, the other, and you lost? So be it. He's happy to
That's
be
what I said,
content.
Guv. That's what I said a couple of weeks ago when we had one of these shows in here. I said, I don't want to be sitting here when we've got knocked out of the quarterfinals. It's a case of, I wish we'd have brought Grealish on. We've got to go for it. Come on.
We're not going to. What I would say is Steve Clarke tonight used all of his experience that he's learned under various top coaches, and tactically, I think he sent Southgate and Holland, as you could probably see on the sidelines, round in loops. They didn't know what. Every time they thought they had a zig, Scotland would then zag, and they would do something else and bring a change on to change it here and tweak it there. And Holland and Southgate tonight, for me, just were left a little bit out of their depth compared to Clarke, who is, listen to Jose Mourinho. Mourinho said he's one of the best coaches I've ever worked with. Is Clarke. So,
they were brilliant. Look, let's take nothing away from Scotland. We're all here frustrated as England fans, right? We're pissed off. Also, we're Ipswich fans, so we've seen 12 months of this shit, right? So it's repetitive, just in a different. Sorry, 10 years. Right?
12 years.
Let's take nothing away from Scotland. If we had kilts on and we had iron brew and battered Mars bars, we'd be happy as Larry right now, right? Because sorry, we'd be giving everyone a Glaswegian kiss, right? Fucking have it, right?
Normal.
I think McGinn, I thought was brilliant. John McGinn, Aston Villa midfielder, I thought he was phenomenal. Right, the QPR striker, he did more up front than Harry Kane did for us. He was a hassle, as was Che Adams. I mean, I don't rate him that great, but these are players that if you think about who was it that had the chance and Pickford made that save, right in the first half. O'Donnell, right? Look at the play for that. Between Trippier and Robertson, the overlapping and the cross comes straight in. Where was that from England? But Scotland did well. Scotland didn't play like a team that was 48th placed in the FIFA rankings, right?
But then, Martin, you say
they played
five.
It's
their big derby, didn't you?
It's their World Cup final. It's their World Cup final. But there we go. Anyway, look, let's leave it there. It's 11:15. I turn to a pumpkin at 11. Josh, I'll leave the last word to yourself. How far do you think we're going to go in this tournament as we close up the show?
Quarterfinals. That's it for me.